It's April 29th and it's finally dried out enough to get into the fields for spring planting. To get started, I thought I'd do a quick overview of the tools of the trade. You got to start with a tractor. Got 7,000 hours on her, but she's a good one and certainly does everything we need to do to get everything planted. So we got the tractor, just walk around, a little quick tour here. We got the Great Plains no-till drill, 8-foot drill. We're going to go into a lot of detail with it as we get ready to load it up, what the settings we're using and what's going on with the planting scheme. The seed's all in, ready to go. We got the buckets ready. We're going to be mixing it up. Back over there you can see the roller crimper. We'll be putting it to use here pretty soon. Again, I'll get into the fields with it and describe exactly what we're doing. You got the spray rig right there. We try to minimize the use of herbicides, but still have to use some. That's just the nature of living in the South. But we keep it to a minimum, but certainly still do use some herbicides. And of course you got the bush hog. That's just a staple of farm life. Needs to be cleaned off before we take it back out again. I was bush hogging with it this past weekend. So let's take a look at what we're going to be doing with the no-till drill and load it up. Let's get ready to go planting. Okay, for this field we're going to be planting 5 pounds of sun hemp per acre, 12 pounds of cowpeas per acre, 10 pounds of soybeans per acre, 3 pounds of pearl millet, 3 pounds of sunflowers, 3 pounds of sorghum, and 10 pounds of buckwheat. I also bought a 50-pound bag of purple whole peas, which I'm just going to throw in as kind of a bonus. It's a 13-acre field. You can see we have the seed rate handle set on 18 right there. The cup settings right there are set on 2. So let's go take a look at the other setting, and that's how we have the drill set up for this, which you'll be putting out about 40 pounds of feed per acre. And the drive type handle, the handle you see right here, that's set on 2. So those are the settings that we're going to use for the drill. Now let's take a look at the seed itself and start to load the no-till drill up. First thing we have to do is measure the seed, make sure that we have the right poundage in the drill. So we measure each of the specific cultivars that we're going to be planting. Allow me to introduce to you Doug Gallant. Doug Gallant, my farm manager. Sometimes we call him We Gallant because I have a tendency to say we do this and we do that. Come to find out, there's the we right there that's doing most of this. Invaluable hand. So he's measuring all the seed out to get specific seed rates, pouring them into a bucket, and then from there we'll load it into the drill. For the legumes, we'll need to inoculate them first, and we'll take a look at that in just a second. Adding the inoculant right now. We got different inoculant for the cowpeas and the sun hemp. So he'll put it all together there. And then he's going to add a little sugar water and stir that all in to create a sticking agent. Different people do it in different ways. Doesn't really matter. The important thing is just to get the inoculant there. There he is adding a little sugar water. He just puts a little sugar in the water bottle. Adds that to each of the buckets so he can stir it up a little bit and get the inoculant to stick to the various seeds. One of the things you have to watch for is the germination rate. Here you can see a bag of iron and clay cowpeas, and it's a 50-pound bag, but you can see the germination rate's only 80%. That means you're only getting 40 pounds out of a 50-pound bag. So I figured out exactly how many seeds I want to have in my various fields. So I've got to add that calculation in there to make sure that I get what I want. So another thing to watch when you're doing your planting is the germination rate. You can see we've got 5 buckets there. We're actually filling 4 of them up right now. As I mentioned, it's a 13-acre field, so what we're doing is putting 1 acre's worth of the full mix in each of the 4 buckets. That allows us to be sure that we've got the seed effectively mixed together, and then we'll put them into the drill So 4 acres at a time, 3 times 12. Then on the last round, we'll do the 5th bucket right there. So that ensures that the seed's well mixed with that mixture so that it all comes out evenly in the field. Time to load the drill up. Seed's thoroughly mixed. This will mix it a bit more. It's inoculated. Ready to go. Get it all loaded up, then fire the tractor up. And so all the seed is loaded in the big box, and the tractor's rolling. Spring planting, one of my favorite times of the year. Now let's go to the field and meet him there and see what we can learn. It's Monday morning, April 29th, and this is the first field that we're going to plant this year. You might see the tractor running in the background. It's a 13-acre field that historically I've used as a dove field. I've rotated sunflowers in the summer, crimson clover in the fall. And I don't know how many years I've been doing that, for a long, long time. And as I said before, I use no synthetic fertilizer, no amendments of any type, and frankly, after all the years of growing sunflowers in it, it's kind of run out of gas. The nutrient density has gotten fairly low. So Saturday I came in and I mowed it very low, as you can see. All I've done to this field is mow it very low. And I waited until the crimson had completely gone to seed. You can see it here, it's pretty dried out. So I'm pretty sure I'll save that for the seed bank. So the crimson is dried up, and it's finally, the weather's dried out enough where we can put the drill into the field and start drilling. So my strategy with this field to improve the organic matter and improve the nutrient density of it a little bit is to do my summer legume mixture that I typically plant for deer. So I'm converting this to a deer field for a couple of summers. I have some sun hemp, cowpeas, soybeans, a little bit of buckwheat, some grain sorghum. I even threw a 50-pound bag of purple hull peas, which we'll probably get out here and be picking some during the summer, and also have a few sunflowers in here. So I'll do that this summer. Then this fall I'll come in here, plant about 100 pounds to the acre of Elbon rye, maybe 3 pounds to the acre of daikon radishes. I'll throw some turnips in all likelihood. May even put a little Austrian winter pea. I've done that in this field years and years ago. They did pretty good. It's a well-drained field, and I've never seen much grazing on it from the deer, but it should help build the soil up. So my plan is to do that cycle for 2 or 3 years and then come back to a dove field. It's a great area for doves. And you have a bayou, you can't see it, but there's a bayou right there. I have a small pond over there. And it's been historically a very good dove field, but now I've moved my dove field over to another area. So let's go over there and take a look at how I'm going to treat that field. And I'll move through all of the fields that we're going to put into the summer rotation and show the differences of how I manage them and some of the logic behind it. So let's go look at the dove field right now. It's Monday afternoon now. I'm in the field that I'm going to plant for doves this year. We finished up the field that we were in this morning, and we've hooked up the roller crimper. You're going to see that. I'm about to crimp this field. You can see that the rye here is starting to, I think they call this senescing, or it's fertilizing itself. It's got those little flecks and so forth. So it's ready to be crimped. You can see it's a pretty thick field. Like in the other field we were just in, the crimson has gone to seed. It's in hard seed. There's a very great stand of crimson in here. So I'm going to crimp this and do as much as I can today before dark. Right now we're working from daylight to dark, so I'll quit at dark. We'll go back in the morning, finish this field. Plus I've got another 18-acre field of Elbon rye somewhere towards the other side of the farm that I'm going to work on and get it crimped as well. Tomorrow the team is processing chickens, so there won't be anything planted. I'll just be doing the crimper, and they'll be processing the chickens, and then Wednesday we'll plant this field, and after that we'll go to another field, and we'll keep you posted on the progress. So let's take a look and see what the roller crimping looks like right here. It's May 3rd. We're finally able to plant the field that I've been prepping for a year now to be a dove field. It's an 11-acre field. It had the radishes, the Elbon rye that got up very tall, had some wheat in here, a lot of crimson clover. So I've actually been working a strategy to have this in a dove field for since last summer. I'll go over what I'm planting here because I kind of make this stuff up, so I have to make notes of exactly what I'm planting. But I'm putting 10 pounds to the acre of sunflowers, 2 pounds to the acre of grain sorghum, 9 pounds to the acre of brown top millet, 4.5 pounds to the acre of pearl millet, 9 pounds to the acre of cowpeas. That's to have a little legume, the cowpeas, and then 2 pounds to the acre of sun hemp. Those two things are designed to have a little source of nitrogen for all of the grasses and sunflowers. And 9 pounds to the acre of buckwheat. That's 44.5 pounds to the acre total seed going in. And for anybody that's got a Great Plains drill, again, we're sort of making this up as we go. It's always an adventure and an experiment. We have the drive rate set on 3. We have the cup set on 3, and we have the seed rate handle on 20 for an 8-foot Great Plains drill. When we first started doing these mixtures, this is the same mixture that I'm using for my deer food plot mix. So I'm using the same one for the sunflowers for the dove field. We originally started with the drive rate on 2 and the cup set on 2 and the seed rate handle on 18, but we found it to be a little light, so we upped everything, and it's working out pretty close. All of the seed are in the big seed box. We didn't put any of the small seeds in the small seed box, and here's the reason why. I was worried about the thatch. The thatch is quite thick, even mashed down. We got a little rain on it yesterday, and the coulters are doing a good job of cutting, but I wanted to make sure that I got good soil seed contact with everything, and frankly, that's my concern. I've got big seeds like the sunflowers going in, and then the small seeds like the brown top millet, and getting them to all to the right depth and all to mineral soil contact is the challenging part. Am I doing it right? I don't know. We're going to find out, but I've done this sort of thing before, and somehow it all seems to work out. One thing I do believe is that this field will become a jungle. I've been doing the no-till multi-species cover crop on it for quite a few years now, and I've been extremely pleased with the improvement in the soil and everything that grows in it. So I'm quite sure we'll have a great crop of something. Time will tell. So we'll finish up the planting today, May 3rd, and the next field we'll be doing will be my red clay field. Today is Friday. Good chance of rain tonight and tomorrow, so we'll probably not move into the next field till next Wednesday. I have to do some travel. We'll go over there next Wednesday. So next video will be in the Cimarron field. Let's go there. It's April 30th, coming up on the 1st of May. This is the next field I'm going to crimp. I call this my 18-acre science project field because this is hard red brick clay. I've done another video in my series on just this field, but time to crimp it. The Elbon rye here you can see has gone to, it's in the dough stage, so it's ready to be crimped. I have this field in 50% wheat, 50% Elbon rye, and some radishes in it. I don't plant legumes in this field because it's prone to go underwater, and it's not worth putting anything expensive in it, only to have it flood. So, but it's time to crimp. So we're going to crimp it today. I'll crimp it today, and but I'm still going to wait another 7 to 10 days before I plant it. The Red River is still very high. With some rains, we could get another flood. This whole field, the whole 18 acres, could go completely underwater. Where I'm standing right here could be 6 or 8 feet deep. So I'm going to wait just a little bit till I'm more confident that there's not going to be any floods, but go ahead and prepare it now. So time to crimp. We'll get the crimper going here, and let's get this field prepped, ready to plant, and time to get it going. It's May 8th, and I'm back in the first field that we planted 8 or 9 days ago. As you can see here, I got a pretty good stand going. I've spotted all the various cultivars that were in the mix. They've sprouted, and I'm confident that we're going to have good production in this field. Wanted to talk about the field a little bit more. As I mentioned earlier when we were looking at this field, all I did to it was come in and mow it very tight. And drill straight into it. And I'm going to let these cultivars compete with the weeds and grasses that invariably will come up. They're fairly aggressive. The cowpeas, like you see here, they're quite aggressive. The sunhip is very aggressive, and the buckwheat, of course, is aggressive. So I think they will all do a fairly good job of competing against the weeds and grasses that are in here. What I would have preferred to do, I didn't, I just got lazy, is had I come in here last fall and planted my typical fall mixture of 100 pounds to the acre of rye and some radishes, turnips and such, I would have had a thick thatch, and then I could have roller crimped it. There simply wasn't enough material in here to effectively roller crimp, and that's why I mowed it. So had I had that thatch from the rye and the other cultivars and roller crimped it, it would have been more effective at jump-starting this field. It would have done a good job of building the organic matter, starting the organic matter. The thatch holds moisture, it moderates temperature, and then I would have just drilled this same mix right into the thatch, and it would have done superb. And the weeds would have been far less of a problem. There's another reason why I'm in this field right now. In the previous clip, in a field I call the Cimarron field, we were talking about it, and I was holding off planting it for concerns about flooding. Those concerns are real. Been a lot of rain up and down the Red River Valley, and right now the Red River is expected to go beyond flood stage by several feet. That's going to back up. There's literally warnings on the Weather Channel that the bayou that I live on is going to flood. So with that flooding and all that backing up, not sure how high it's going to be, but it's very possible that that field, that 18-acre field, will flood. So I'll just wait and see what's going to happen there and be confident that the floodwaters have receded and not going to be a problem before I plant it. So I thought I'd bring this video clip to a wrap. I hope it's been enjoyable to you, and we'll come back with Spring Planting Louisiana Part 2, where we'll talk about planting some vetch and Alice clover, and I'll include that other field in it then. So that's it for this clip. Hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll look forward to Part 2.